the Kliq Talk episode 9 part deux, and we are live. When life hands you to mess around. So love is with a crap right now because there's storming outside. So I decided to use my phone. So now you get a picture of my pops. So, like we were saying, we're each going to pick a classic sci-fi movie, and we're going to assign that at the end of the show. Right now, we are going to do. I had it on my phone, so I'm gonna have to pull it up on my internet now. We're gonna do a "Would you rather." All right. So
All right.
we're each gonna take turns going first. So I guess I'm gonna ask Rob to go first this time.
All right.
Rob, would you rather be the one to defeat the streak, or would you rather be the one to the Undertaker streak, or would you rather be the one to break Ric Flair's record of 16-time champions?
That's a tough
And
one.
why? And why?
I would say be the one to slay the streak
Why is that?
because that can only be done once. No one
It's
else
true.
can come back behind me and beat Taker and conquer the streak.
That's true.
Whereas I could win 17 titles, but then 2 years from
John
2
Cena
years
to win
down the
18.
road, Roman Reigns gets 18. So it's a one and done.
That's not a bad answer. I was gonna say about the same thing where you could only win, or you could beat the streak only once
Yeah.
and be the only one to beat the streak, or like John Cena still got a couple years left. He could make 18 if he really wanted to.
Oh, he definitely did.
So,
He did 18, 19, 20.
Smitty,
Yeah,
what do you got?
I would have. I basically would have said the same thing. I mean, you're going to be. You could be champ multiple times, but to break that kind of a streak, I mean, you're never going to see a streak like that again. So
Okay.
the notorious connotation associated with the streak killer. I mean, that's
Everybody's gonna know that name. Like you can win as many championships as you can. If your record gets broken, you're nothing. Like look at Bruno Sammartino. Bruno has had the longest reign up until recently of holding the title. Now,
how many current wrestling or newer wrestling fans even know his name?
That's true. That's what I'm saying. But now everybody knows CM Punk because of his title reign. Which brings me to our next.
That is it. That or is it because he might be coming back?
Well, no, everybody knows CM Punk for his title. He had the longest title reign in WWE. Everybody knows that. But the next would you rather is based on this. So, would you rather have multiple championships, multiple championship reigns, very little ones, or one of the longest reigns? Like quantity over length. Which one are you choosing? And Smitty, you're going to go first on this one.
I want a long one. I want the quality.
You want the quality one, the long one?
Yeah.
See, I get that, but like, if it's got a Ric Flair feel to me, because if somebody comes and holds it longer than you, then your name goes in the dirt. While we all remember the Ric Flairs, the Hulk Hogan's, the Macho Man's, the ones that have won the belt several times. So I'm disagreeing with you on this one.
That's fine. If I'm holding the championship and I'm actually defending it for a long period of time, I mean, and we're not talking like a Brock Lesnar where I show up once every 3 months, or for the next once every major pay-per-view to defend, and then I hide for. No, I'm talking a fighting champion with a long reign. I'd take that.
Okay. So, Robert.
Now, my question: can I be in a ranch in Minnesota banging Sable while I'm off part time? Because if that's the case, I'll be part time. But no, I agree. A champion should be there every week fighting.
Well, no, that's not the question. Is would you rather have multiple world title reigns, like be at the top for a long time, or would you rather have one continuous reign?
I would go with one long continuous reign because you think about it, some of the greatest champions that have had multiple title reigns, most of their reigns have been 30, 40, 50 days. But I think Diesel was over a year. CM Punk was over a year. I think Roman in this title
But
reign
if you look at it, you got like Bret Hart that was 6 title reigns, and that's what he was remembered for.
But how many? But for how many days? For all
that's
of them.
True.
I would rather have because you figure most of them, even if they had 6, 7, 8, 9 reigns, how long were they? A month, 2 months at most. That's not. I would rather have. I would much rather go down in history as having one title reign for like a year and a half than have 10 title reigns that lasted 6 months total.
All right.
Because
all right. And here's a great example of that. Bryant was WWE champion for all of what?
Right.
A minute?
Not even a year.
Another example here, and it rhymes with Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair has had 11 title reigns in 5 years. You're jam-packing the whole career into 5 years. Most of her reigns were a couple months, couple weeks, couple days. Yeah. Give me one good long run as opposed to 15 short runs.
All right. Let's move right into our next question. So I guess I get to answer this one. So the question is, would you rather be a member of DX in its heyday or NWO in its heyday? So, without question, I can say DX. Only because for me, it would be like, do you guys know who was in all the members of Wu-Tang Clan?
No. Most of
them. I know a couple of them, but I don't know all of them. That's the problem. Is with NWO, there was so many players in that game. Yeah. In DX, it was you had your champion, you had your Intercontinental Champion type, your women's champion and your tag team champions. And that's the stable they kept for a long time.
Yeah.
So NWO, it was like everybody versus everybody still.
Oh, on
That's
NWO, is it black and white or is it red and
what
black?
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
I mean,
like
are we talking Wolfpack?
Because I'll do Wolfpack, but what I'm saying is like you're staying in that stable, and you could take the chance of not being seen.
Yeah, I'd have to go DX only because even within the stable you had breaks within the stable because I mean Nash and Hall were original black and white and they went Wolfpack.
Right.
So I mean the stability of DX would be the better draw for me as opposed, even though I loved Wolfpack.
All right.
Y'all want me to say DX to be a complete trio, but I'm not. God damn it. I spent the last weekend watching all things WCW. The NWO, yes, it was overblown towards the end.
Just a bit.
No, not even just a bit. It was, I mean, there was a Fonzie jumping the shark, but the NWO jumped a lake full of sharks with laser beams on their head. That's what they jumped over.
Yeah.
But in the beginning, when it was just Hall and Nash, and it was two against the company, that company was scared shit to go up against them. You bring Hogan in, that was the big what the fuck. Sorry. That was the big.
No, you're good.
That was the big swerve. So yes, I would have wanted to be on the upswing because you got noticed. They were doing the fun promos. They were jumping everyone. They were making themselves known.
Spray paint everybody's back.
That was honestly the cool to me. That was 96. So that was like right in the middle of high school. That was perfect for me. I enjoyed every minute of them, spray painting the yellow down Macho Man's back or spray painting the world title, the warfare that they had. You watch the fall brawl and world and the big 2-ring cage match that they had World War III. Stuff like that. Those were fun matches.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end, yeah, it sucked because you had Virgil and Scott Norton and Buff Bagwell and Virgil and $1 Million Man and Rick Rude and Rick Steiner, Scott Steiner, Stevie Ray. You had the guy in catering. They were all in it. But again, in the beginning, it was fun and it was new and it was creative. If there really wasn't an NWO, there would not have been the DX answer to that. So I would rather be the original.
I like that.
Than be the carbon copy. But the reason why the DX had the longevity is because they had the original to look up to. And it's all right, keep it 4 or 5 members, do what you got to do. No room for rapid expansion. Unfortunately, the Joker isn't running DX. He ran the NWO's rapid expansion, and I mean, you had dudes in New Japan being a part of the NWO. But in the beginning, it was
you did.
It's merchandise. It put fear, it put a jolt into the ratings. So yes,
it was the poison that killed WCW.
It was. Well, no, Vince Russo.
It was the poison that killed.
No, Vince Russo killed WCW.
Too. But I mean, to think about it, everybody was a freaking NWO member. Everybody. on WCW. Like at one point in time, I think my mom was an NWO member. I mean, is that ridiculous? Yeah, but that's where I get that.
But if you think about the NWO, the reason why we're asking would you rather be in the NWO or DX is because they were both popular.
Agreed.
But NWO, revolutionized the faction game for the rest for everyone else going forward.
I wouldn't say that. I think DX did pretty well for themselves.
But again, if there was no NWO, there would have been no need for DX.
Yeah, but DX you had stables before DX or NWO.
But those two were the ones that had more more time on screen. We'd argue the Nation, but the Nation was a revolving door after a while.
Yeah.
The fact that DX in its heyday was Hunter, it was the Outlaws, it was China, and there was that Talk. That is the DX that took on the NWO. That's the one that gets the rub and the play. Whereas before that, you had then the Nation came along, then you had everything else coming along. But the factions back in the day were trash. Some of them,
yeah,
in the WWE,
DOA.
I mean,
the Ministry.
Oh no, I'm not disagreeing with you on that, Robert. Not by a long shot. I mean,
I'm just saying I've been watching a lot of the old school stuff recently on Peacock. Again, Peacock, get in touch with us. Get in touch with me. Yeah, I'm pretty certain that I accounted for 96 hours of continuous play this weekend. But I mean, going back, and that's something I would challenge you guys to do is go back on Peacock and just watch early to mid 90s. I was telling Smitty backstage, in the break, some things that I watched that WWE got away with wouldn't even get off the ground nowadays.
Well, and
right.
And that may be part of their problem too, is they've lost some of that just edge because they have to be too PC.
But looking back and watching it, even back then, the stuff I'm talking about kind of fell flat. The fake miscarriages, the Katie Vick story, stuff like that was controversial back then, still fell flat back then. You don't need to go to that extreme. Yeah. You just need to let the one thing in those days is everyone they spoke their mind. In the NWO, DX, the Rock, Mankind, Austin, they spoke their mind. Now you have a handful that can do that. Let them all do it. Let themselves get over. Not, you don't have to spoon feed the suffering succotash and the same diet, same bull crap you spit, week after week. Roman's gotten better because Roman has gone away from, Roman's gone away from being the spoon, being spoon fed his line to more freedom.
Not again.
Yeah, but that's also that's also a big issue with WWE is they don't give up character control.
Exactly. But,
that's one of the things that I've been reading with Bryant and with Punk's supposed signing is they have character control. They have storyline control.
And honestly,
they should.
I mean, to a point, that's good. You don't want to give them complete autonomy, because that's what killed WCW.
True.
Kevin Nash alluded to it on the Steve Austin podcast. He was in to make money. So obviously he's gonna butch himself up top. He was
Who's
gonna
that?
bury anyone who was below him.
Who was that?
Nash.
Yeah.
You know, and Hogan was the same way. You know, that's why the NWO was always up on top. Because you had, you know, all the people who were, you know, in it for themselves. And to a point, you got to be in it for yourself. You can't just be a team player, or else you don't get nowhere. You know, that's the problem with you know, with a lot of stuff. You know, looking back at WCW, they had more talent than they knew what to do with, but they couldn't do anything with them because you had wrestlers booking themselves. So yeah, if it came down to me and JC for a world heavyweight title, and I'm the booker, yeah, hey, guess what, JC, you ain't going over. I'm going over.
Yeah.
I'm getting that payday,
That's traditional promotion, though. There's a lot of promoters out there. Like the Hearts did it. West Texas did it. It was, all the promoters that did that had one player that, like, what's up, Chep? That they were their go-to guy, and they promoted the crap out of them.
I mean, to be honest, that will be like the NFL saying, you know what, we have 30 teams, but we're just going to promote the shit out of the New England Saints.
The Patriots.
Well, it doesn't matter who. I didn't want to go with the obvious choice.
But the Patriots, that's the one that they do.
Well, now it's the Buccaneers.
But, yeah. Well, yeah.
It's a Patriots South team.
Patriots South. But yeah, I mean, okay. I'm liking this discussion, but we're going to move on to our next question.
All right.
So, if you could bring back a stable in today's, like, I'm not going to give anything away because we're going to be doing our wrestling thing here pretty soon, and I don't know if Dre's going to be part of it because he can't give me his damn asses. But if you could bring back a stable from the past with a new roster, who would it be and what would the roster be?
Who's going first?
Who went first last time? I think I went first last time. It was you, Robert.
All right. I would go. I would go with the Nation of Domination.
I'd like to hear this.
Because there's three guys I'm going to put in there that probably should have stuck with being heels, but they're way too good baby faces. But y'all probably will remember that the New Day started out on a very serious note.
It did.
I would love to see. I'd love to see the New Day healed to the nines with Lashley and with Keith Lee, those five.
Ooh,
and the Nation of Domination.
That's kind of brutal, man.
But you think about it, because you've got the muscle,
which would be
at one point you had the muscle. You had the muscle from just Kama, whatever he was at that point.
Yeah,
and Mark Henry,
Godfather.
And that's your Keith Lee, that's your Bobby Lashley. Your D'Lo Brown would be like Kofi, I guess.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
But I want to see Xavier take over the Rock role. And then Big E would be your Farouk.
Oh, yeah, he do that.
So it would be Xavier Woods as the mouthpiece, Keith Lee and Lashley as the muscle. Big E would be your Farouk, Kofi would be your D'Lo Brown.
I've just seen the pains in the chat and I froze.
What's going on, Christina? What's going on, Nadia?
Will they hear me? I don't know. Welcome back. My internet's crap. I'm still in the middle, but I'm working with what I got. I got on the phone now, and I'm watching the chat over there and right here. So
we are trying to get this out for you guys because we enjoy doing this for you guys. All right, Smitty, I guess you guys.
You lost me, and now I'm back.
Welcome to the.
This is some bull crap, bro.
What's going on, Luau?
Luau, what's happening, bro? My internet sucks today because I'm in the middle of a storm, but I want to go on anyway. Like it's bad. I can hear it on the wall.
The hurricane coming through.
It's more like a tornado, but yeah, probably.
It's the Texas tornado.
All right. Now, here's going to be my question. If it's all one brand?
No. You're just creating your own stable. Like taking any wrestler that exists today and making a stable out of it.
All right. I would probably go Ministry of Darkness.
Ooh. I'm kind of excited to hear who you got for this one.
Huh?
I'm intrigued now on this.
I'm really wanting to hear who you got for this one.
Well, I was thinking you've got Malachi Black. You've got Darby Allin.
That's two.
Yeah.
And I would pull Karrion Kross in from NXT.
Ooh, that would be a tough one.
I just wouldn't pull Jeff Hardy in with him.
No. If I was going to stay, I would pull King or Sting in from just almost like figurehead. Huh?
The mentor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's not bad.
I don't know all the rosters as well as you guys. Those are the guys I can think of that if you were going to try to
be
do a stable.
But see,
okay, so
you're missing.
So let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
You have in the Ministry of Darkness you have the Undertaker, the right? Who would be your Viscera? Who would be your Minion, and who would be your APA?
See, that's where I'm not as good as you guys with rosters, and
see JC with his.
What are you talking about?
He's missing one that would definitely fit any one of those roles, and that's Bray Wyatt.
That's true. Or Baylor.
Baylor would be good. Baylor would be good. Who's going to be your leader?
That's a good question. I mean, I'm just pulling guys I know that have
darkness.
That are darker, basically start as a darker background to begin with, and just trying to amp them up.
You just throw Malachi Black as the leader.
I was going to say either Malachi, or if you wanted Baylor, Balor, you could use Finn Balor's demon side as the leader. Malachi would be a good Viscera, which was the muscle and the heavy hitter. Minion was kind of like a Mankind character. So
yeah, but I'm not necessarily trying to recreate.
No,
I'm not feeling exact. I'm not trying to plug. It's if I'm redoing the stable, if you want me to bring it up, I'm going to do it. I'll figure out roles, like if we need it. But I mean, the only thing I know I don't have a good plug for is, a tag team. But, depending on, you could
Malachi
make one
and
out of that.
Balor would be a good tag team. Or Karrion would be a good tag team with Balor.
Yeah.
So mine.
Hang on.
Mine, I got to go classic.
Hang on. Before you even speak, I'm just going to guess. Roman Reigns, the Usos, Naomi.
No. So mine, I'm a fan of the classics. Bruiser Brody. I love the classic stables. So I would have to say I would recreate the Four Horsemen.
Ooh, rarefied air.
You need somebody that's technical, like Arn, and it can punch them in the face if they want to, like
Arn was the enforcer, first of all.
Like CM Punk. CM Punk could be an enforcer. Then you would have Steve Mongo Michael. And for him, he was like, I would pretty much have a technical group. Like Ric Flair, I'm going to put Daniel Bryan there. I'm going to put CM Punk where Arn should be. McMichael, I'm going to put Braun. No, not Braun. I would probably put Kenny Omega in that spot.
As Braun?
And then...
How old are you again?
Huh?
12? You 12?
You trying to say? I'd put
Kenny
Kenny
Omega is not the Braun.
No. He's
So basically you're saying you got Punk, Omega, and Daniel Bryan, and someone else in the Four Horsemen.
Yes. And that's probably elite. Probably Cody.
Who?
Just because I want Cody Rhodes. I want
and then I'm going to send
history behind
and he's going to take out half your stable.
I like the classics though, and that's what we'll do.
I understand the whole allure of the Four Horsemen, and they've done it more. They've redone it a number of times, and that never as good as that one. But
there will never be another Four Horsemen. But that would be a good closeness to it. I know Robert doesn't agree with this.
It's like a 14-year-old picked it.
What are you talking about?
I got the 4 top guys, and I'm gonna put them in a stable together.
Which is what everybody does. What did you just do?
Mine are not the top guys.
Tell me what see on Daniel Bryan being a portion.
I don't know. Those three would implode before they even got to the ring.
They all think they're the best, which is what the Four Horsemen did.
No, they didn't.
They all did think they were the best. Arn was the best enforcer. Flair was the most technical. Mongo was the best hitter.
Mongo was useless.
Huh?
Mongo was
trash. Mongo was trash, but he thought he was the best. They think they're the best. That's why they're there.
Yeah, but Mongo was just pure muscle and heft.
All right, JC. Since we're talking about the Horsemen, there was a time when the Horsemen were also about team play and sacrifice. Because there was a pay-per-view. It was actually one of the War Games where Sting and Luger came up to the Horsemen wanting to have Benoit and Mondo sit out. If they thought they were the best, they would have fought Sting and Luger to stay in. But no, both of them said no. If Flair and Orton says this is the way it has to be, it's what they were team players. They didn't have the stones to say they were the best yet. Because Benoit was still young, and Mondo was just in there because he was Mondo.
Okay.
So 2 of the 4 thought they were the best because they are the best.
They're the best because they thought they were.
No, they were the best because Flair and Orton were the best. And that's why the 4 Horsemen in the 90s were a revolving door that revolved around Flair and Orton.
That's true.
So 2 of the 4 Horsemen were great.
Flair and Orton could keep up with any company that they went into, just like CM Punk and Daniel Bryan.
CM Punk left WWE over for an ice cream bar.
And everybody knows who he is still. 15 years later.
Everyone's still stuck on him.
All right.
Because he's the best in the world.
He was okay for a while there.
Question. And this is weren't Benoit, Malenko, Eddie, and Saturn a stable at one point?
That was the Radicals,
The Radicals.
The Radical, okay.
That was one of my favorite stables of all time.
Yeah.
Now those are 4 guys who were the best.
They were. I would have liked to see them
played the team.
And they were team
aspect.
I wouldn't say they were a great team. I'd say they were the best of their genres. Like Chris was the best technical wrestler there probably was ever. Eddie was the best high flyer. Perry could hit you in the mouth, and Dean could put you in any hold. The man of 1,000 holds.
All 4 of them were technically sound. All 4 of them could take flight.
All 4 of them could be champion.
All 4 of them would punch you in the mouth and laugh at you.
I got that. But what I'm saying is all 4 of them could be champion. Not one of them had a weak suit. Well, Perry Saturn maybe. But they were all like singles wrestlers that formed a shot.
Okay.
By far, one of my favorite stables of all time. That and the Ravens Flock. I might bring Ravens Flock back. But that's for another show.
If we didn't go it around.
We're trying. I promise you we're trying. Let's move on to our match of the week. We each had 2 matches this week. It is Social Wellness Month, and part of social wellness is therapy. And if you guys actually need therapy, there are many therapists in your area. Go check them out. But we looked at some of wrestling's therapy, why they went into therapy, and what became of the therapy. I went first last, so Smitty, I'm gonna let you go first.
Well, I didn't necessarily watch matches. What I watched was the segments of. I mean, I took Hell No as the group that I had going into therapy. So I watched them having to go to therapy. Their first, their their therapy sessions over multiple weeks. And it was funny. It was interesting. The background story was so messed up going in that caused them to have them go in, because you had this, you had Bryant with AJ, and then she's with, or is going after Kane, and then you have Punk messing with Bryant's matches and Bryant messing with Punk's matches, both of which are against Kane. So then you have Bryant, who's supposed to be marrying AJ. She leaves him at the aisle because Vince offers her the general managership at Raw, and then she sends Bryant and Kane to therapy, anger management, as I don't know, as payback, or just because she can, but
All right, so I think I like Team Hell Knows. I mean, the funny thing is here's the thing: is like whenever they were doing that, vote on the team name or submit a team name. I submitted Team Hell No, and I know there was probably hundreds of people that submitted it, but I submitted Team Hell No while I was on the road, and I was like, hell yeah, they picked my name, and then I find out that it was like 20,000 people that submitted the same name, so I was like, oh shit. So
yeah, I mean, one of the things that ended up being funny about the whole anger management thing and them being forced into a tag team together was each one of them were basically heels at the time, and they became crowd favorites as the tag team.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They became crowd favorites as a tag team, and everybody loved to watch them hug it out for some reason. And I'm just like, two grown men hugging. That is not professional wrestling.
First of all, you have two grown men grabbing each other's nutsacks to do a friggin' to do a friggin' drop. So hugging is the least of your worries.
I'm cool with hugging. All right, Robert, what'd you get?
I was saddled with the friendship of Bailey and Sasha, and watching the two matches I was assigned, I learned one thing: that the WWE missed the bar and the ball and the bat and the field with the Riot Squad. Because both my matches
with the Riot Squad, yeah.
Because the first match I watched was a six woman tag with Sasha, Bailey, and Ember Moon against the Riot Squad, where basically, that started their friction because literally Sasha and Bailey could not tag each other. Each one tagged Ember, and then Ember tagged the other person. And then they lost that match. So at the end of the match, you see Bailey just go ape shit all on Sasha. They leave her, kind of, beaten and sprawled out on the mat, and you just see Bailey just lose it. She's losing it. She's just befuddled as to what's going on. Then you fast forward a couple months, towards the end of the summer, and the second match I watched was a match between Sasha and Ruby Riott. Once again, WWE missed the bar with Ruby Riott and Liv and Sarah. I know Sarah's off, having a kid and doing her own thing now, but Liv, even Liv and Ruby were just kind of screwed, if you ask me, because they were unconventional. They weren't vanilla. They weren't saccharine like Charlotte and some of the other ones are now. But I think if Ruby came around now, I think she would get more due because you see what they did with Rhea, and Rhea and Ruby had a similar look with the piercings and the tattoos and the clothes they wore, and I just think Ruby got a.
I always thought Ruby looked like a parrot. I don't know why. Her nose and her face just made me
I
think of
don't
a
care about her
parrot.
nose and face. She had amazing talent in the ring that they didn't take advantage of. But getting to the story, I mean, obviously Bayley and Sasha have a storied history dating back to NXT. They were never really friends. They never saw eye to eye, but they were thrusted into the main roster. You saw their friendship kind of grow, and they were tag team partners for a while. Then they won the inaugural women's tag team championships and lost them at WrestleMania, which prompted Sasha to run. And I think that's where Bayley really kind of took off. Then Sasha came back and they kind of picked up where they left off. And it wasn't until sometime last year that you saw the real end of the Bayley and Sasha stuff. With Bayley turning heel on Sasha, and so yeah, they definitely need a therapy. I don't know if it worked at the time, but it definitely didn't work in the end. Because as of right now, Sasha is still out. Bayley's obviously out with her knee injury, so kind of sucked to see that to have them trying to rekindle that. But hopefully Bayley will come back in 9 months or so, and we'll see more Bayley and Sasha, or Bayley and Bianca.
I kind of want to see them as a team again.
As
a team.
No, I don't. Because Bayley is so.
I like the whole.
No, because heel Bayley is the best Bayley.
Oh yeah.
But face Sasha is the best Sasha, in my opinion. But I don't want to see them together. I want to see them do different things.
And as far as this Riot Squad, I completely agree with you. They were unutilized and they were set aside when I think that Sarah was like material. Honestly, they could have ran with that Viking, and the Viking side of her is the way they were pulling the story off. They could have ran with that and had a great wrestling woman champion.
See, but what's funny about
superhero?
What's funny about stuff like that is you hear about why I don't know if Sarah was with Sanity or was it Liv Morgan was with Sanity, but
Sanity
one of them was with Sanity.
No,
it was Liv.
Sanity was Nikki.
All right. They used a bullcrap excuse about how they didn't want women and men mixing on the main roster, but yet we spent 15 years watching Lita go up against going up against the guys, and China going up against the guys, but now all of a sudden we don't want to see men and women. And
I think that's something. I know. I get what they're trying to do with it. The whole they don't want to see men hitting women, but at the same time, I think that that's one spot where that they are lacking, because there's other wrestling promotions that are doing the women versus men, and they're kicking ass at it. Like Chris Statlander is an amazing wrestler, and she shows it against people like Orange Cassidy and Danhausen and all these other wrestlers, but she's whipping their butts, and I like that.
But the funny part about it is that you don't have to have Nikki Cross be a part of Sanity and having her fight the guys. It's just a group. of people. She can go and represent Sanity in the women's division, or someone can it doesn't have to be Nikki Cross taking on Bobby Lashley in a 2 out of 3 falls match. It's just a matter of, okay, Nikki Cross is with Sanity. They're a team. They're a group. And just fight. It doesn't have to be, matches between men and women.
So, I agree with that. I'm going to say that my therapy session was with The Way on NXT. And this all started when Austin Theory was kidnapped by Dexter Lumis. And he was kidnapped and put into a van and driven off, and he got Stockholm Syndrome, where he started to fall in love with Dexter Lumis or something like that, or he loves his captor. And he was like, no, he's a great guy. I love him. He does all this good stuff. So they got put in therapy for it. Johnny Gargano went to defend Austin Theory's honor, got his snot kicked out of him. This storyline's still going on, but Austin finally came to his senses that through therapy, they had a breakthrough that Dexter Lumis was a crazy person, which he is. If you ever watched NXT, he's a crazy guy. He wears gloves and he looks like Dexter from the serial killer show. But he's a great wrestler. He's right now he's the indie wrestling promo he's got on there. That one in that great thing, and that's what they're being called now as Index. So I love what they got going on right now, and I can't wait to see what they have in the future. I hope that they actually do become a wrestling couple. So I like wrestling couples for some reason. Which leads me to our next week match. You are going to find a mixed tag match and bring it back to the class. You're going to find a mixed tag match that speaks about you, and you're going to bring it back to the class. So we're picking your own match this week, but it's going to be a mixed tag match, and you got to watch it and bring back next week.
I can do that.
You know what I'm saying?
All right.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So that being, let's check out our movies for the week. I don't know if I could do a wheel on my computer with the way it is. Let's see. Oh, we got that. We already got some up. So, Smitty, your movie that you sent me was, hold on, the original Planet of the Apes.
Yes.
Okay, so we're going to see who, I'm going to turn my camera around. I don't know how to. I don't know if you can you see that?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to see who gets the original Planet of the Apes. So maybe you can get your own movie.
Right.
Dre gets your movie. Okay.
All right.
Robert. We're going to move Dre from that. Robert, your movie was an Invasion of the Body Snatchers. We are going to see who gets
version.
We're gonna see who gets that one. Smitty, you get Invasion of the Body Snatchers. All right, so Rob, you're either gonna get mine or you're gonna get Dre's. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. You really want mine?
I kind of wanted my own.
King Bob, you get to watch Back to the Future.
That's an easy one.
It is classic sci-fi.
Yeah, it's pretty easy. All right, let's talk about it right now.
And I get whatever Dre is going to give me as classic sci-fi. So we'll find out next week. Thank you guys for watching. We're going to be cutting out, and hopefully my internet is a lot better next week than it is this week. I apologize. We have a storm going through the area, and I had to switch to my phone. So please forgive me. Thank you all for watching and jumping in. I seen the Luau, I seen Christina Payne, Nadia, Liz has been in. I don't think she came in this one. Chet, thank you guys for watching. Next week, I forgot about this. All right, so each of our videos this week that we're going to be putting out from now until the next week, we're going to have a giveaway attached to each one of those videos for our big episode 10 of the Kliq Talk Live. So next week is Kliq Talk Live episode 10, and I want to do something big. So we're going to give away something for each of our videos that we do this week. So I know that Rob's got a video that he's got to put up.
Yep.
I know that me and Smitty are going to be shooting a video that we need to put up.
Mm-hmm.
And I know Dre's got one he wants to put up. So you might have 3 chances to win. And I've got some pretty cool prizes. Let me just say that. I've got some really pretty cool prizes over there. I've gotten rid of a lot of my Dragon Ball Pops. I've gotten rid of a lot. I still have a couple of dragons from Game of Thrones. So I still have a really big pop if we hit a certain amount of viewers during our episode 10. I've got a autograph pop for that. So we'll see that. But so
trying to think what I have
if we hit
that I might be able to throw in.
Here's the thing. It's episode 10, so I want to go big. If we get, I know our normal view count is like 40 on here. If we hit 50 people in the chat, I'll give away that autograph. I won't sell it. I'll give it away. So if you guys shout it out, we're going to be doing that next week. Same flash time, same flash channel. As always, peace out, guys.
Later, guys.